All right. What is up? Waiting for some
Back
people.
again for round two,
Yeah,
people.
trying. We are trying. All right, got Ben and Woodman. A couple of good
Well, I
veterans.
can see the chats on the side now on the TV screen.
Okay. I don't know if they're.
There.
Can you
I,
kind
I
of.
just
In it.
Let me see here. Make sure you guys are. You guys pretty clear then too. It sounds good.
Yep, sounds good.
Got it.
Mike, check a 1-2. Thank y'all for coming back around for round two. I know the first round we had some technical issues. All good froze up on there, but we're back again, and we got more backup. We called for
Yes.
backup.
There was an update.
Woodman.
yeah.
Yes, Woodman, brother, good to have you with us. There was a couple of new Q updates. Show them to you real quick here, just for everyone else too that maybe didn't get to see the last video. Make them a little bigger. We got that photo with no words under it,
Great.
Woodman. I think that means coming in hot. I don't know. What do you think, Ben? 40,000 feet and
Well,
descending.
well, what's the JPEG? What is the name of the JPEG?
System
Well,
configuration, special ops and session. No, I don't know.
You're not
That's
gonna.
a definite. That's.
You're not gonna. You're not.
I
gonna
don't. What do
figure
you
it
think,
out.
Woodman?
Well, hey, they're taking off, brother. You hear that? They're taking off.
I just see systems
I don't know.
confirmed.
I'm not saying it's a military thing. I think it's more or less a thing where we're taking off. You know what I mean? We're going. We are going. We're not.
Flying high.
We're not. We're not repeating ourselves anymore. We're on a new page. We're taking off. That's how I value that.
And then me and Ben had went over this already, so we won't beat a dead horse. But what, Ben? Summary of this: Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood, basically legally through our evil, large spread government, getting money and in the tune of millions and millions of dollars. Basically, it's a laundering scheme that us taxpayers are footing the bill to fund Planned Parenthood.
So
and the last week, go ahead.
Yeah, Woodman. Put it this way: taxpayers' dollars that you don't have a say fund Planned Parenthood. All right, they get government tax dollars to operate, and then Planned Parenthood was turning around and giving to like just the Democratic Party heavily, or a certain person, and that so should it be used when you have a government monies that are appropriated because they declare a need that Planned Parenthood needs it, but then you turn around and lobby for like Hillary Clinton only, but nothing towards the Republican, or they shouldn't even be allowed to do that with tax dollars. I would think that's kind of hokey pokey.
Siggy Smears, you're awesome.
Yes, I just saw that.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Woodman? I mean, what's your opinion? No, you shouldn't be able to. I mean, if you're getting tax dollars, use them for what that helps everybody.
I don't understand. Like you told me before, Mike. I think or both probably you and Ben that there are states out there now that have this law now because of Planned Parenthood that you can have an abortion the day before standard birth. What they're doing is taking these.
That's genocide almost.
They're taking these little teeny weeny real people and they're taking them out and they're dismantling them and selling them. This is a very. Why did we let this go on?
Because they worship. They worship Satan. This is killing our children.
So
why did we let it go on? Why did we let it go on? We have really got to stand up against that. I still, they come up with this idea about, well, if we have Planned Parenthood, that our little girls won't get pregnant. Well, if they wouldn't be spreading their legs, guess what? They wouldn't be pregnant either. Now, come on, society's been kind of warped on that situation. Free and open sex, blah 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 blah. Well, Wait a minute, somebody got to pay for that.
All right, so yes or no, Woodman, do you think that tax dollars that are given to a company that vows for them should be able to, let's say you had a business where you make a bolt for the tank. All right, you make this special bolt that you fabricated, right? Yeah, you fabricated, and you have lots of, So,
I know where you go with this.
I'm just asking the question: do you think that it's okay when a company like Planned Parenthood gets a lot of tax dollars, and then that they turn around secretly and we're able to fund a party member, like a Democratic person that they want to make sure gets in there with our tax dollars, basically with our tax dollars? So it's just a yes or no. Yes or no.
Why would no?
Okay,
why would we want to,
that's what I was trying to get out of you.
Why would we want to sponsor dismantling little infants and selling body parts everywhere?
Well, even if you just keep it on the good part of what they say, I know that too, right? We can dig into that, but just on the premise that what they say they do, they provide birth control, or they provide this or that.
We are paying these people out of our pocket to do this. Whoa!
That's crazy.
Listen, I'll tell you what, I'm glad I'm not one of those people, because I wouldn't want to face Jesus Christ at the end. Holy cow. There's got to be at some point in time, we really have to wake up and say, look, enough is enough. You can't sponsor this kind of stuff. They operate in a cloud. This is what they do. They operate in a
cloud. Woodman, can I let me ask you this?
For the better of the younger
Woodman, I understand. This started in 1973, and now we're in 2019. So, did this just happen overnight, or did it start in 1973? And I speak of Roe versus Wade.
Or Roe versus Wade.
Well, this is Roe versus Wade, where abortions became able. So, therefore, very soon after that, there was actually facilities to facilitate the new law being enacted. So, I mean, we've been doing this since 1973 now. This whole thing has been over when abortion. So, I mean, I agree with you. And you can see, folks, that here at the Patriot Hour, we're pretty passionate about life. And
yes.
we are for life. This is stopping war, because we don't want to take life either. So we understand this last post had some great significance and was bringing out to light again what we know that's been happening for a long time, and a lot of us true patriots and individuals who understand that this is not a cloud of deception. It is what it is.
I want to add.
Who organized it?
We could look into that. I want to add that I think private corporations or self-funded ones out there, if they are, everyone's going to have a political leaning, that fine, you can be able to back or donate to who you choose to as a private citizen. But if you're in the business of a majority of your dollars, any of your dollars come from the government, you can't take those dollars, because those are taxpayers' dollars. And in sense over here, even though you separate it because you rob the people of them tax dollars, they might be a Republican or this person might be a Democrat, and you might not fall into that. I'm just saying they might have different values. So they don't want their money funding something like that. Like Woodman, as passionate as he just got, there you go. They're doing very horrible things, by the way. So, and there's other companies.
So we don't exactly, and we don't want private organizations getting tax dollars to be able to lobby on the Hill. Pure and simple. That could stop lots and
donated
lots
tax dollars from people. That needs to not happen. I didn't know that was happening. Wow, this is horrible. Well, we knew, but I'm just saying the way they bring this up. And then, all right, so Q-Post. What else is going on, Woodman? What else were we talking about? You were saying that they are now lobbying for the federal employees to get a pay raise. Maybe they got legislation in.
This is very comical. And again, I have to apologize, because there was one representative who stood up and really told him what the heck was going on. The Democrats are saying that the government employees don't make enough money for purchasing power. They're referring to that they make $60,000 a year. If you divide that by 12, that's $5,000 a month. If you divide that by 4, that's $1,250 a week. You divide that by 40, that's $31.25 an hour, and they have no purchasing power. Now, if you do your math, if you do against the whole United States, an average of minimum wage is $10 an hour. Now, who has purchasing power and who doesn't? And they want a 2.6 raise, 2.6%. Who are these people? You know, I mean, they really.
Well, they have to use it or lose it. Well, remember, Woodman, we talked about that. We know every year your budget's got to be bigger because you got to feel. This is. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do it up right here. Boom, boom, boom.
Isn't it crazy?
I wasn't really doing anything.
I was just trying to do some math. Let you guys know.
You double checking my figures. I did. Listen, and also, I tried to figure out what 0.02% of 4 trillion was, but my calculator wouldn't go up that high. Just to let you know, I tried.
Gotcha.
It would only go 12 numbers, and that was it. No more.
No more.
Well,
you got to get those big financial calculators out. You know, the real big ones that have the long numbers.
Remember, you guys are high-tech dudes. I'm the guy that, you know.
Special governmental calculators.
When I grew up, if you wanted to talk to somebody, you grabbed a tin can and you stretched it out so you could, you know, like get that rope stretched out and you could talk to somebody. You know.
I know, brother. In 1776, we were fighting with muskets. We told you guys, come on now. We got the, you know.
Right.
All right, here, I want you to listen to this, you guys, again. We'll do this one more time.
In United States Code 284, which authorizes President Trump to deploy the military to the southern border, to build fences, and to do a lot of other things. And for clarity, if you look it up in the dictionary, the word fence includes the word barrier, and the word barrier includes walls made of a variety of different materials. So that having been said, it seems to me that 10 U.S. Code 284 can be used by the President of the United States to direct the United States military to build a wall. Now, as of today, you've mentioned military forces along the southern border. Have any of them been deployed pursuant to 10 U.S.C. 284?
Congressman, I don't believe any of our forces have been deployed pursuant to 10 U.S.C. 284. You are correct, however, that use of authority would authorize the Secretary of Defense to erect barriers, roads, fencing, those type of materials to disrupt drug smuggling.
Does 10 U.S.C. 284, as you understand it, require the declaration of a national emergency before it is implemented?
No.
It does not?
No.
Has President Trump, to your knowledge, ever used 10 U.S.C. 284 to direct the military to build the wall that is necessary for border security?
No, not to my knowledge, Congressman.
If President Trump were to direct the Pentagon, the United States military, pursuant to 10 U.S.C. 284, to build such barriers as are necessary to secure our southern border from drug trafficking and international crime cartels, would the United States military obey that order?
If we judge it to be a lawful order, yes, sir. And I assume it would be.
Thank you. I appreciate your responses. And, Mr. Chairman, I yield back the remainder of my time.
Yeah, man. I've been watching a lot of C-SPAN. That's kind of funny. It's
so what do you think on that, Woodman? What do you think on what he just that was just yesterday? I mean,
yesterday, brother.
It's fantastic. You know, I've been watching C-SPAN, which is funnier than that. I don't know where these people come from and what kind of a deal they're trying to really. God, man.
I don't have to cut their jib. I just want to say
some
it
of
right
these
now.
people have their own constitution up there in D.C. from 1871, the Organic Act.
Give me
I
a
wonder
break.
what that does.
They're defending
Give me a break.
But
Look
no,
here,
that was that they answered it. Trump doesn't have to declare a national emergency to do it. He's already got the wall funded. We've had a war on drugs for 50, 60, 70 years,
right?
Woodman. And
he's legally obligated to do that if he wants to. I don't care.
Have you ever heard? Have you heard as yourself? People saying we need to, like people have talked about having our military down at the border for 20, 30 years. I've heard it from old timers. I've just heard it before I ever went in. I never really thought about it. I've heard people that really do care about our military. They might have not served. Women say we need to quit butting into things all over there and just keep our troops back here and worry about our own borders. And I'm not saying not worry about other little things going on, but that is a valid point. If we have an issue down at our border where there's cartels getting people hemmed up, people are slaves, they're human trafficked, we got drugs. We've seen the videos of these citizens that are down there armed up, right, Ben? That they're called like the Northern Watch or the Southern Group.
Well, the Ohio Minutemen.
Yeah, they go down and do some time. It's like they when they get some time off from real work and they got time to go down, they sacrifice at the border. But
check this out.
We've seen the pictures with the cartels with bags of dope. I'm not saying it's the only way, but they do cross the open spots, and it is an emergency. If you're going to combat the war on drugs, wouldn't you seal it up the best you could?
Check it out. Have 100-foot signs, neon signs. You can see it 100 miles away. Cross at your own risk. Borders are patrolled by government, the military. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Look. They're here. They are. Certain amounts of government are trying to do a little wedge thing, misdirect people again. They get away from the basic facts that President Trump has been doing. The neat thing is he's been very, very patient to let the certain people hang themselves now. like you were talking about,
Mike. That's key.
He implemented a lot of stuff back in 2017, but the Dems weren't even paying attention to him. They just thought he was a big joke.
Yeah.
Well, honestly,
it's chess moves, right?
They did.
It's well planned out, like you said.
Well, you know it, and I hats off to that man because he's our only hope. But anyway, the Democrats, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be either one or either of the three.
There's morons all across the field, but heavily over there.
Well, they tend to be. They focus their time on getting organized to repel our President Trump's agenda. Even though they know it's gonna work, they like you guys have been talking about, and I've said once an agency gets allocated money, they want to make sure they get that money again, and in order for that agency to grow, they have to say, oh, well, we discovered this last year that we need to start another agency to look over this because we don't have enough manpower to do that. You know what I mean? So this escalates. More money. We don't need that, people. We have a state government that does a pretty doggone good job. Our state has money. Each state could have its own military insertion. We could all say, for a certain percentage of people in that state, so many serve in our military people. We could really do that. We don't need all this. We really don't. Your neighbor, your veterans, your whatever, is a whole lot stronger than the feds could ever be. They're just good on pushing, the pencil and ripping you off financially. We can actually go in there and physically make changes. We have to do it as a whole.
So when you talk about maybe slimming down the government, we talked about TSA. That is right now administrative, and they have the body at all the airports. So if you privatize it, you just have a few TSA agents overseeing the whole operation of civilians or whatnot. Makes sense. That's a way to slim down.
All TSC has to do is technically organize formats. That way, no matter which airport it is, they all have to go by a certain criteria.
The SOP, the standard operating procedure. Right. Okay, yes. And we all know that being military.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Follow those.
One airport is for all. That's all they got to do. It doesn't take 5,000 people. It only takes like a small group. And then
one guy to check the bag, another TSA guy to scan it with the wand. Well, he hands it to Joe, who walks it over to the cart.
Yeah, that's why you go to contract labor, people, because TSA can only say so much, period. You know what I mean? This is what you got to do for everybody being checked coming in. They're doing their thing. Well, here's a neat, check this out. I wonder how much more they'd have to work once we had a wall. Wow. Think about that. Think about that. Once you stop the open gap, now they're back to trying to figure out how they're going to get across. Back to what they used to do a long time ago, which they brag about. We stopped so much at the border. Okay.
Lynn Whitney, you're awesome.
You know what I mean? Give me a break.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Sorry.
No, I agree with you, Woodman. Now, here's another thing too to think about, Woodman, is when you talk about the government employees asking for a tax increase or a pay increase. No, I don't think they got a pay increase this year, or was it cost of living increase?
It was no, it wasn't based on that either. It was going through the House, Senate, whatever you want to call them. They were like, how they do those idle things, like say we're watching our government on live TV, and there's like probably 20 people in the room. All the chairs are empty, and they're all like, Speaker of the House says, that kind of crap, You gotta watch some of them things, man. These people are nuts.
Knowing that these people are nuts and knowing that they're asking for more of fiat currency increases, would you agree with the statement that the deep state are more and more exposing their evil plans by not giving the power back to we the people?
Yeah, and they're displaying that they have more pawns to play with to try and get their job done, which I don't think it's going to happen. I really think this is our first step of really rejecting the black hats. I really do. Everybody's going to hate me. President Trump was what I would say was a black hat at one time. I don't know what turned him around. I really truly think it was JFK Jr. And I'm sorry, I got to say that. But anyway, I'll leave the floor to you guys.
Whoops, hold on.
Well, one can only speculate what's inside President Trump's mind and what motivated him to accept the daunting task of running for the president of the United States of America. We all hope it was positivity, and we're trying to correlate and maybe speculate what he's really feeling on the inside by his executive orders, the physical actions he's taking, his behavior once he was in office. Because let's be clear here. Before office, it doesn't really matter, honestly, because it's all hearsay. It's all really hearsay. We can build a character of how this person was or how they weren't, but once they step into office, right then and there, it's a telltale sign of one, who owns them and where they're going. And what has President Trump done from the very beginning, always in these crazy executive orders against things that have never really been talked about. And we're all learning about laws that are very quote unquote ancient,
obscure,
to the American people,
not been properly applied in a long time. So I agree with that statement. And like Woodman said, insider, former. I mean, again, how do we know about the Illuminati? How do we know about so we had Bill Cooper, a guy that did 20. If you got a 20, 30-year military guy with high-ranking access, and then he gets out and goes to work for the CIA for 20, or the NSA, or another 3-letter, and then he writes a book, gets out, and he's on stage, and he's telling you about these horrific things, you can be like, that guy's crazy and a kook. And that's normally what happens. We call them whistleblowers. But they are probably people we have to listen to. That's how we know anything, like Woodman said in the past. How would we know anything about any of these crazy projects? From former insiders, former whistleblowers.
Leaks.
What made them want to walk away from that career, or maybe after retirement, close to their deathbed, sometimes on their deathbed? We've had CIA guys like, I was involved in killing JFK. We planned it for 5 months. I was down there in the Dallas area, and we had a house that we moved every 2 weeks just to keep out of the limelight of the other intelligence agencies that were trying to do their job the correct way. They have to operate around that. So, folks, people talk, and you can think, they're crazy. That goes against everything I know, so they're nuts. But you got to think, what are these people telling you? They're this, they have the clearance, they the know-how. Sometimes we got to listen to them, and you can think, what happened to them? Why do they want to warn mankind for? What? Well, I think that's a little bit in everybody. You don't really need to be taught good from bad. As a kid, your parents, smack you on the hand, or, tell you sternly, like, that's not the right way. That's not how we do things. But there are some instinctual things, and we know that, right? Like breathing, just the natural thing to breathe. I think also at a certain age is also the kind of the instinctual thing of, that's wrong. These are good things. It's not real hard to know. So that's very true. At a certain age, there's no induction. That's empirical, hardcore truth. We know about anywhere from the age of 3 to 5 years old, a small child knows right from wrong. That's a given. That's set in stone. That's not only in our society and other societies. There's an age when all young children, without their parents or environmental input, know right from wrong. Yes. We're a fallen state, people. Humanity is a fallen state, and it's only but Jesus Christ is our Messiah and Redeemer. That's why. There you go. So people know. So why do we have these people that have dissented, people that have written books, warned tons of the masses, hardly ever believed, categorized as conspiracists, lives are ruined, some of them murdered, and so again, like Ben said, I don't care about somebody's past. The minute somebody steps in to affect my life on the level of like being president, we're going to watch them closely and go off of what's being said. And if you take what's being said to what's being done and to how it's being applied, which is very meticulously, like Woodman said, almost like a plan, like Q has said, stage by stage, piece by piece, military is going to build the wall. Why? Because it's the constitutional thing to do almost. Or I guess this comes out of the other 1871 laws. So now, again, are we using those temporarily to screw them over? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, oh, that's not right. That's not constitutional. We should be done with that. Well, maybe we use some of the laws that they put into play to screw them, and then we get rid of things. I don't know, but this does come out of the USC, the code. It's not a constitution.
Why are they pitching such a big complaint nowadays when in the past presidency they were allocated $40 billion? I mean, come on. I mean, you're talking about a bunch of people mainly Democrats that just don't want to comply. Period. They're using the wall for an excuse. Look, I'm glad President
it's already
Trump's
getting
doing what he's
done
doing.
as
Yeah,
we speak. Sections were just built.
Right. Well, yeah, but here's the point too, though. He gave him 15 more days. You know, he doesn't have to do it. He can do it. He can put his foot down and say, okay, people, enough is enough. And you know he's got the right to do that. You know he's got the right to do that.
Yeah, we made it clear. That's what we try to prove to everyone, that he does have the right to do that. Think about that. The pundits say it's not a national emergency down there. He doesn't have the right to declare something. It would be contested in the Ninth Circuit because he doesn't have the right. Well, now we found out he doesn't have to even call a national emergency. And if you point out the code that he does have the right, because just based off the drug thing, just based off the war on drugs, Ben, right?
Yep.
50 years it's been around.
The code states, let me pull it up his code, it's 10 USC 284.
Yeah.
10 USC 284. Let me pull up right now. 10 USC 284. Let me just give you the actual title of it so you know. It is the support for counter-drug activities and activities related to drug. Wait a minute here. It says, so it's military support. Let me read it up here again. There you go. There it is. It's 10 U.S. Code 284. Support for counter-drug activities and activities to counter transnational organized crime.
So what falls under that?
Crime. Human trafficking.
Human trafficking, folks. Human trafficking.
Which there's already a national emergency on.
They could have already done this. Nobody's had the balls or looked into the law to apply it except for Trump and the Trump team.
You know why? Because they don't want to lose what they got going.
That was their cash cow. This is organized crime that we're talking about, that we're fighting. So organized crime, these are the brackets.
Cartel.
Folks, it's like, you can't argue with any of these pundits out there. Bill Maher, all these people, you can sit down and be like, so does human trafficking exist? Well, yeah, of course it does. Do drugs exist? Well, yeah. Who do you think does this? Well, the everyday average man. Well, yeah, the people that are involved, the people that are getting trafficked, yes. The people that are the mules, yes. The people that sell the drugs, yes. The people that die from them, yes. Of course, that's the everyday man. Who's the puppet that owns it? Go up the little ladder, Bill and Jim Acosto. This is what's real. We all know everything exists. Who owns it? Who runs it? Who profits from it? The everyday man? No.
Exactly. No, I agree 100%, Mike. This is just common sense. Not even critical thinking. We promote critical thinking here, obviously, at 100%. But critical thinking is like here. Common sense is like here. Well, this is a common sense level. It's too easy. I mean, and you guys can know Woodman. We love him. We love his passion, his fury for justice. But it is very interesting that this is one of many codes, one of many sections that our president could have enacted for Southern security, period. We could do the human trafficking. We can do the drug and organized crime activities thereof in 10 U.S.C. 284. He could declare martial law. I mean, we went over that one as well. I mean, we're talking there's a crisis. There's another quote-unquote caravan coming up south. Now, the news has been on total blackout on the second caravan and the third one coming up. Nobody's talking about that. And so we know, like Woodman said, our president has given the leftist, and I won't really call them Democrats because it's even Republicans who are in what we call a little sheep dipped, or they're in wolf in sheep clothing. The people who think like the left don't want secure borders, like Mike said. They want perpetual income. They want job security. That's why these people have been in office for 30, 40, 50 years, and war has never stopped. So
because if you have a federal agency like the DI, if you have the federal agency like the DEA created and all the funding going to it, the war on drugs was created. if they really hemmed it up, then like we said, me and Woodman, I think in our show the last time, you maybe you start breaking off the federal groupings of this major drug system, and then you do rely on the local police to keep an eye on the streets. And if it ever gets kind of big and bad again, then you might have to ramp up the federal part of it again. But it can almost back down and shrink down to a handful of DEA top executives that maybe have some programs to teach to the cops, but they don't want to back off, and they don't want to win it, and they don't want to stop it coming in at the borders. And maybe we've seen movies where they actually help bring it in. Some of these movies, and I'm not saying the whole system, all people, just a rogue group. They start flying the crap in Vietnam. They start flying it in with the Barry Seals. We've seen the Tom Cruise depicted film of that airline pilot guy that was just got hemmed into it. Arkansas, Clintons. I mean, it goes deep. It goes really deep, folks.
It does. Too.
And you're right.
Lots of people's lives have been destroyed. Down at that border, just the people like Woodman was talking about a lady. That's one story. Can't remember her name, but we could talk about all the people down there. Ben, you've seen documentaries. I've seen them. They're terrorized. They're living. How many does it take of them to be killed or caught up in the cartels' games, cutting through their yards on the American side, to where they know they'll get killed. If they say anything, they've been confronted already. What about that? How many of those lives have to be destroyed before we do something and put this to a stop? Well, we want 500 a month dead. We don't even hear the numbers. I don't know what's going on down there. I don't know.
You won't hear the real stuff. Now, have you guys heard that there's been over 60,000 people arrested / detained down at the border? And here's the bad thing: they're
700 a day.
They're treating it like a bass tournament, catch and release. I don't understand that part of it.
That's the rules we have.
I don't know.
Well, and that's what our president's trying to actually. This is what he was talking about. This is another reason why a lot of these things have been enacted, and a lot of these things are coming to light because of the catch and release program. We're not gonna release these criminals anymore. We're gonna actually try them now. Are they gonna be on the taxpayer dollar and come into our prison systems? Hell no, they're not gonna come to our prison systems. They're gonna get kicked back to their country, and they're gonna go in their country's prison systems. The bottom line is we can try to talk numbers, or we can try to talk semantics, but it's been very clear that a lot of legislation has already been passed for a barrier.
Well,
now, if you don't understand the dictionary version or what it means to have a barrier, then that's where the semantics come in.
Yeah, that guy said, look it up in the Webster's. The word that they use in the code for the USC code of the federal government means barrier is a wall made of many different sources, material. So it's clear. There's they want to change the word. The Democrats right now would love to change the word wall or something to something else, but it's just not going to happen.
I still don't. I resort back to this question: what in the heck? Okay, here, the past presidents one of them was allocated $40 billion. Our President Trump only wants 5.7. What the heck? I mean, really, what is their main goal? They're still. It can't be the wall. They're hiding a bunch of crap. Maybe it's.
Well, of course not. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the wall.
Maybe it's all the indictments that are going down where they got ourselves looking in a different direction while we don't have time to look at the indictments. I don't know. I have no idea, fellas. I really don't.
The indictments are sealed, so Woodman, we can't really look at the indictments because they're all sealed up. It's all speculation. But you stop and think about all this stuff. If we go to a gold-based system and we retard the Fed to a point of abolishment, and the IRS goes away, everything we're talking about, it fixes itself. Think about it. If we build a wall, which is going to cost way more than $5 billion, if you think it's going to cost $5 billion, then you're an idiot. Honestly, you're an idiot. A wall, a structure that has made up of many materials, many points of resistance and points of entry from sea to shining sea, using natural barriers along with man-made
I think he
barriers
just did it to make a
points of
point.
entry.
Honestly, at this point, if it's
Yes,
already funded,
yes.
if it's already funded through these other ways and they're already doing it, it's almost like he brought up something that's already getting done just to be like, look at this, and everyone chewed on it. Here's a point. What is a mainstream? Let me say this. Let me say this here real quick. Yeah, he doesn't need their permission. Let me say this here real quick, and then you can have the mic for a minute. What does the fake news media do? They say what they want to say, and they repeat it often, and people take it. They go to work and they repeat it. Trump has come in with his tweets of saying what he wants to say appears to be fact, and then he says it often. Over the shutdown, he repeated the child trafficking, drug flow, wasn't about the people anymore. All of a sudden, he changed the narrative, and they're like, why does he say it 5 times a day, every day for 35 days? Because he's being like them. He's repeating truth where they're repeating blah, 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 blah. And that's what has to happen, I guess. People need to start saying things and saying it often if it's the truth. And then tidbit gets into people's, now the thing around the scuttlebutt at work, the water fountain is, well, what about this child trafficking thing? Somebody finally regurgitates it out because they heard it enough. Maybe that's what has to happen. I don't know, guys. Yep. I mean,
I agree. I would agree 1,000%. I agree 1,000%. Holy cow. Like you said, around a water cooler. This stems back to what we've been talking about, for a couple of months now, about the average citizen doesn't really understand what the government's actually doing in one way or another. That's why us veterans have a little bit advantage over that. They don't want to. We all love our government. We all love our country, I should say. We all love our country. And the average citizen, a lot of times, will close their eyes and then open them up and hope things have changed. They don't want to see. They don't want to believe that their government could be like that. Because, people in my era, we kind of really still had a good government. And then they killed our president. Then they killed his brother.
We had a pretty good government until they killed him. Think about it, folks.
Well,
no, you're right. No, it's only gotten worse. I agree. This couldn't have started. I got something very interesting I want to play, but we'll come back to this. Let's take a listen to here. This is from earlier. Me and Ben were early this morning garage talking to it. Well, I'm not. I'm going to keep us on. Well, I'll play it this way. Yeah, we will. Here we go.
What I'm about to show you in the next 5 minutes will be extremely difficult to watch, but it will also save your life. You're about to hear a private briefing about the truth behind the 2016 election and Hillary Clinton's one final desperate act still to come. It also exposes a corrupt conspiracy involving Clinton, a secret society of gangsters, and other high-ranking government officials, and for the last 23 years, it's remained a total secret until today. To be clear, the people involved never expected the inner workings of their plan to see the light of day. And if it weren't just for one tiny mistake, it would have remained buried forever. So if you're ready for the truth, keep watching. But if you don't think you can handle it, close this video now before you hear what I'm about to say next. This will be your only opportunity to hear my warning and take action to protect yourself and your family. Ready? Here goes. Did Hillary rig the 2016 election all the way back in 1993, and in exchange allow a sinister act to kill 31,000 American seniors that year and more every year after? Impossible? Trust me, your liberal friends and family won't be able to deny a thing once you show them the information I've been able to uncover. It's a secret plan cooked up by crooked Hillary herself that I've identified as Executive Plan 5. And it's a scheme so elaborate and far-reaching, it can only be defined as high treason. Here was the plan. On January 20th, 2017, Hillary was supposed to place her hand on the Bible and take the presidential oath of office. not as the victor of an honest and fair election, but as a liar, a traitor, and the conspiracy mastermind of a rigged election. Fortunately, you and I both know how her story ended. She failed to become president, and thank God for that. While President-elect Trump was watching his electoral votes flood in, Hillary went into hiding, practically disappearing off the face of the earth. Why? Because she knows this isn't a simple case of he won, she lost. No, there's so much more to the story than that, and the treason goes deeper than you or I could ever imagine. So while most Americans are breathing a sigh of relief that Trump will serve as our next president, what 99.98% of them won't know is the uncomfortable truth. The outcome of this election, arguably the most important one of our lifetime, was actually planned 23 years ago, behind closed doors, in a top-secret location. And even though Hillary has all but disappeared now, her entire sinister plot is still unfolding and putting millions of American lives in jeopardy every single day. Worse yet, Trump, Pence, or any of the high-powered politicos in D.C. are absolutely powerless to stop her. How do I know for sure? I'll explain everything, but let me start by introducing myself. My name is Dr. Alan Spreen, and I work for an organization just outside Washington, D.C., a patriotic group that monitors our government for exactly this type of thing. I can't reveal my sources, but a network of insiders gives me special access to this kind of information. We've uncovered a lot of dirt over the last 19 years, but nothing this huge. I might even be putting myself at risk to publish this report today. I've actually been tracking this story for years, following paper trails, checking facts, and gathering a mountain of evidence along the way. But even I didn't want to believe that this kind of thing could actually happen in America until I saw Hillary's speech when she accepted the Democratic nomination. It was her smug smile and the way she waved like a queen at the crowd through the sleeves of her $12,000 pantsuit jacket. She knew she'd already won. I decided right then and there that I wasn't going to let her get away with it, and I know you won't either. Truthfully, even the craziest of left-wing libnuts won't be able to deny the proof at 6:18 of this video that Hillary has co-signed the most devastating American scandal this country has ever known. That's right, co-signed, because even though I truly believe Hillary is a force of evil against our great nation, she isn't in this alone. In fact, during my investigation, I uncovered proof of a shadowy organization operating strategically behind the scenes and manipulating Hillary's career with her full blessing. My colleagues and I call that secret organization the Clinton Cartel, and they're every bit as power-hungry and despicable as Hillary herself. Since all the way back in 1993, the Clinton Cartel has been Hillary's ally on every rung of the political ladder, moving all the right chess pieces to buy her elections, knowing that starting in 2017, with Queen Hillary running the show, she'd be returning the favor. That's right, in exchange for delivering her presidency on a silver platter, she'd look the other way while giving the cartel full access to run one of our government's biggest agencies for limitless profits. Here was the plan. When Hillary's scheme went into effect in 2017, the cartel would have unprecedented access to our government and a direct path to your health and money. With their plan set in motion, she was guaranteed to win. Guaranteed, only they didn't pull it off. And now the cartel, hungrier than ever, still wants to be paid back, even if it's at the expense of American lives. I'll explain exactly what I mean, but here's the part that will really blow your mind. Clinton swore up and down the campaign trail that the cartel are actually her enemies. She's absolutely shameless. She publicly denounced them and says they're out to take advantage of middle-class Americans. And they are. But behind closed doors, she's been greedily accepting their money and their help for decades. Friend, what you're about to see next proves exactly why she was always unfit to be president and why we could never allow her into the White House. Here are the facts. When Bill first assigned Hillary to lead his task force on national health care reform in 1993, she immediately put 33 corporate power players on her team. Now, these were some real heavy hitters across several industries that she knew had the muscle to get things done in D.C. and weren't afraid to get their hands dirty in the process. It was a real deal with the devil, to be sure, but this group stood to make a killing. Because with the approval of the new health care bill, they were promised a payout to the tune of $10 billion in new revenues. Yep, that's billion with a B. Fortunately, you and I both now know how that ended. Thankfully, the bill was destroyed before it ever got off the ground, and Hillary's teammates never got to cash their checks. But failure has never stopped Hillary. She's had plenty of it, but her lust for power is never ending. And she knew that in our country, money can still buy power, but you need lots of it. So she decided to form a secret alliance with this group of corporate fat cats. And with nothing more than a secret meeting and brief handshake to seal their pact, the Clinton cartel was born. They vowed to never speak of their arrangement again. But I was watching, and what you're about to hear next is a matter of public record, the undeniable proof of the cartel's work. Fast forward to Hillary's 2000 Senate bid. The cartel funneled $86,875 in cash into her campaign, ensuring her victory. During her re-election in 2006, they upped the ante and pumped $157,015 into her campaign. And again, she won. Then came the 2008 presidential election, when the cartel gave her $174,000 in cash. The cartel didn't even care if Hillary lost in the primaries. They had their sights on 2016 the entire time. Fast forward to 2015, when Hillary announced that she was running for president. And now the cartel went all in, to the tune of $7,054,871. But they didn't stop there either. Trying not to draw much attention to their partnership, they privately made additional contributions to the Clinton Foundation, ranging from $1 million to $5 million each. In total, it's estimated that Hillary has accepted over $10.8 million in cartel dirty money since 2000. And that's only including what's publicly shown on her books. With that kind of money buying all the votes she needed, the scheme was practically foolproof, until her carefully laid plan was outed in the final hours before the election. Hillary rightfully lost, and the cartel was once again left with their pockets turned inside out. But that just made them even angrier. So, who exactly is this faceless cartel? And why should we still be afraid of them, even after Donald Trump becomes president? And most importantly, how can you protect yourself and your loved ones? From my experience, I've found Clinton's cartel to be an extremely cunning and dangerous team. They work in secret and consist of highly influential figures, lobbyists, and even corporate executives. Now, that might not sound intimidating at first blush, but in partnership with Hillary, they've already launched Executive Plan 5 with one simple goal: manipulate American politics and the American people for billions in pharmaceutical drug profits. And no one would...
All right, it goes on a little longer, but interesting, huh?
Wow. Oh my gosh, yeah.
It goes on to talk about their
I want to see that movie at the 6 minute and 88 or the 6 minute mark.
Yeah. Folks, it's crazy that a lot of the pharmaceuticals are useless. We don't need them. They're killing people. It gets into the numbers of how many die from just taking the meds that they're supposed to take, and the bottle tells you how many to take a day, and you follow the regimen and you die. Lots of people. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Hey, check us out, guys. Check us out. When I was still a youngster, I mean really a youngster, before the pharmaceutical companies were so large, they were still doing old-time remedies, and they kind of worked. Here's the weird thing, though. Once pharmaceutical companies figured out that they can make a lot of money on it, and they got patents on stuff, well, now the only way you can get any help is you have to go to a doctor, then you get a prescription, and you do it. It's a circle.
Yeah, that guy gets into that too. That they're only allowed to talk about the things that they can sell, because he talks about organic things that can't be sold, but they work.
Yeah.
Can't
it's like
package it up into a pill
Well,
form.
it's like pot, all of a sudden now, back in my day, they made it like, I wish, what they call that thing, some freak out deal when you smoke marijuana, killing people and shit, whatever.
Reefer Madness.
Yes. Propaganda.
Reefer Madness. I mean, that was the beginning of my day. I mean, come on, people, think about this. They went from all the way from there to now it's good for you. Here's a weird thing too. Uh, Back in the old days, back in the 30s and 40s, the government made farmers grow hemp so they could have
Thank you,
rope.
Thomas
They
Bryan.
could have they could have fiber for their clothing and so forth. Man, it was a very good thing for the government.
Well,
Super
didn't
chats are
President
awesome.
Trump do the same thing too in the 2009 or 2000 the farm bill? Didn't President Trump legalize the commercial production of hemp? Yes, he
Well,
did.
Yes.
So guess what, Woodman? Just like back in your day, we're going to start. Oh, yes. Now, during the new farm bill that's been signed into law, commercial hemp, not cannabis. Hemp is cannabis's cousin, which you well know that, is now
yeah.
legal to harvest. Not just legal to harvest. Think about
Trump
this,
did
Woodman.
that or whatever.
Yes, Trump did that. The new farm bill. Now listen,
Well, it has a
farmers
lot
can
of.
now hold on, Woodman. Let me speak. Farmers can now insure commercial hemp crops. Now, if you don't know agricultural, let me explain a little bit about commerce. Farmers in America will not grow any crop that they cannot insure. If you're not an agriculturist, you don't live in the farm country, you don't understand that. So why hasn't hemp been commercially grown for, like you said, Woodman, textiles, oils? Hell, the diesel engine was designed by Sir Diesel to run off of hemp oil. So now you can actually go to the bank and actually pull out, well, I want to bank the insurance companies and get crop insurance on industrial hemp. So you'll start to see industrial hemp come back, and it's legal now.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you go. What do you think, Woodman?
It's crazy. In my day, and I'm gonna really show my age here. I ain't kidding you. They made farmers grow that stuff, and all along, probably 100-mile stretch of farmland, I'll say. I do know for a fact that they grow weed. You can't kill it. This stuff's like 15, 18 foot tall, dude. And there's vigilantes out there to watch these fields, and they wait for knuckleheads to come in there and try and pick this weed and take off. Well, they don't understand that it's not. It wasn't growing for
It's not
THC
cannabis.
content.
Yeah. Hemp is different than cannabis. They're cousins.
It was growing. Yeah, it was growing for fiber and all that stuff, But they still get young people coming down there doing that kind of crap, But now they're saying it's medicinal purposes. Now, I can't remember who it was. It was beyond Nixon that made it really, 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 really look bad.
Right
they were
after
trying
Nixon,
to say
Carter, Jimmy Carter, when he promised to.
This is when the phrase gateway drug came into play. Well, now they're realizing that pot ain't that bad. My God, son. I don't know anybody in the world.
Diane Deal. Thank you. We got a PayPal contribution.
Oh my gosh. Diane Deal, awesome.
I don't know anybody that went out and smoked a joint and shot somebody. I was all fucked up because I was smoked a joint. Bull crap. They're chilling out.
Well, we definitely know that we haven't been told all the health and the, I guess, commerce benefits of hemp. We know what it is. Obviously, there's a cotton cartel that doesn't want the hemp products. Yes, hemp can also CBD oils, the number one for epilepsy, inflammation, real health things comes from hemp. Also comes from cannabis, but it also comes from hemp. This could be a way to get off the big pharma. This is big stuff, you guys. And so, who's doing all this, you guys? Our president.
Who's doing it? Real quick, Penelope Watkins, thank you. Dean Leonard, thank you. Jeffrey Wilkins, Ed Bender, Sonia Transer. Folks, start trying to do this a little bit more for 2019. People that subscribe to the Patreon, any kind of donations. We appreciate all the super chats, the PayPals,
Yes.
the Patreon, the GoFund. The links are in the description box. Thank you so much. Okay, so keep
Fantastic.
going. We'll go a few more minutes here, folks. Or Ben, Woodman, you guys see any questions? You guys got questions? Hit it up. We're gonna keep pushing forward on trying to get a phone done properly so we can have you guys call in from now on. We're gonna have a good, quick, easy number. Everyone knows how to use the phone. Call in, boom, you're heard. We can hear your voice. You can ask the questions. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna go to that on times where Chris Stockton, some of the mods, or even some of the people, if they can join in, they got a good solid connection. We've done it before. We've had Elle, we've had Chris, Amy. We've had other,
Patriots, for sure.
Robert Melendez. Where's he been?
Wherever he's at, yeah. What's up,
hashtag
Robert?
Where's Robert Melendez at? We're not joking.
Yeah, you've had it from northern New York, northern California.
Fluid Greg. We've had Fluid Greg in. Yeah, from New York to L.A.
Down in Florida. I remember some of them people that
Yes,
on the
that's
show.
right. You were on that time with Chris and Fluid Poured by
those
Art.
guys. Those guys are fantastic. I have to say something. I have to say something. I really, really, really got to. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they didn't realize that the only military that answers directly to the president is the United States Marine Corps.
Yeah, they got that special relationship.
It's a direct link, and don't confuse it, people. I'm telling you right now, don't confuse that. That if you look at the whole picture of all the military structure, I'm telling you right now, there is one that is attached to the United States president. Period. I'm telling you, direct link. They answer to him. They bypass all kinds of red tape.
Well, let me do a caveat on that, Woodman. Yes, we've been over that a few times. Now, let me also say this: he's a commander-in-chief to all the armed forces. However,
I know
the United States Marine Corps hold a special security detail or a security standard operating procedure to the president. The United States Marine Corps delegates security forces for the president's personal security, not the Army, not the Air Force, and not the Navy. So yes, you are correct. Just like the Navy's a part of the Marines are a part of the Navy. Okay, people don't want to admit that either. So yes, we agree with that.
He could tell the United States Marine Corps to do an operation, and they will do it. Period. They don't have to worry about
as long as it's not. Well, they gotta be constitutional. No, that's. I would disagree with that one right there.
Well, I'm sorry. This is no kidding. They answer right directly to the president.
Well, it's like that one guy said. He goes, if the president ordered this, he goes, if it was lawful, which we'd have no reason to believe that wouldn't be lawful. So that comes down to that movie. What was it with the Marine Corps? A Few Good Men. They got the red code red. They called it. To beat that dude.
What it amounts to is the president really, honestly, only has one form to rely on, and this is no kidding. This is very heavy, people. That's how it's made, and you can't fight it. Don't fight it. Don't go along with it. Go with the flow, man. I'm not saying the Marines are better than anybody else in the world. I'm not saying that at all.
I was talking to my buddy that is a Marine.
Still haven't answered my question, by the way.
You hear me though? It's called my president's the president's own. That's what they call it. Yeah. The president's own.
It is.
Because that's when I brought it up to my buddy Rob. He's a Marine, prior Marine. He goes, I go, man, and we just went over this tonight in the video. The president has a unique. I used the word unique relationship with the Marines, and he was like, You mean the president's own? And he used that technical lingo to me, and I was like,
It is. It is. I know this firsthand because of some of that crap I was in when I was 40-some years ago.
You work with some of the, yeah. Well, again though, Woodman, I will say, answer my question. Can they do things unconstitutional by direct order of the president?
They can do if the situation need be, they will do what he says.
Well, I think they already do unconstitutional because of all the extra codes put in, USC, federal, unconstitutional, because the Obama killed U.S. citizens, and those are put in by acts of, 9/11, Patriot Act, some of these other acts. Are those unconstitutional?
They go with treason, and I guess with that one, and they were trying to go in line with it, but we thought was unconstitutional was them arbitrarily taking our rights away as an American if we were deemed as terrorists, right?
Well, that goes right into
That was Obama doing that.
Well, Bush.
That was Obama. Well, Bush, I guess Bush started
9/11.
Why do you think they blew up the towers? You know what I mean?
That's how they got the Patriot Act through.
Look, if you see
cover, I got my dog in these use the restroom. We've been going.
No worries.
We'll come back and I'll shut her down. We'll go another 10. Just keep talking. Look at some of the comments. You guys got questions?
Yeah, what's some of your questions? We'll reach that one as well. See any out there?
I don't see him too much. I screwed everything up today. You guys know that, man. Come on,
Woodman. It's all good, dude. This is about truth, man. Hey, listen, you don't gotta apologize so much, brother. This is about truth, man. And sometimes it's okay that we have disagreements, like this Marine thing. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. But it's if we're wrong in any way, shape, or form, we can go back and research that. But we're trying to get the truth out, and I love what you say, it, brother. So you get it out how you get it out, and don't be apologetic about how you get things out, because I, for one, love it, man. You're awesome, brother. I love it.
Well, look, I look at it this way. You guys are high tech. I'm layman terms.
Well, and then if we are high tech, that means Woodman, if we are high tech, then that also means that I can research laws and things like that. So part of I'm also critical thinking. So I don't believe everything I hear, even from my own friends, because I myself could say something that could be wrong as well. And I would say, hey, if I'm wrong, research me. So in this particular forum, on this particular show, we try our best to say, okay, well, let's see what's going on. And if it's an opinion, or if you know a fact upon a fact, well, then present us with a fact or something. A lot of times I know some stuff beyond a shadow of a doubt, but I can't really present enough evidence to say that's 100% true, other than it's how I feel and trust me, people. You know what I'm saying? Woodman? It's like we're in this show, it's hard because they don't know you very well, Woodman. They don't know me. How can they trust us? You know what I'm saying? So if we can present a more clear picture. I mean, what do you think on that?
Mike let me close one of the last shows, and I got to.
It was awesome.
I got to speak my mind, and you asked me a question. That's where I'm going to put it right there.
I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it.
We're going to have one world order government someday, and it's going to be.
I agree.
Our Lord Jesus Christ. In the meantime, we have people like President Trump is, hanging in there. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree. This whole thing is going down. This whole thing, President Trump's not going to save nothing. The Federal Reserve going away, coming, staying. It's all coming to an end. This how we're living. This whole society of what we're trying to think.
Dude,
you get to the country, you get some chickens, you start growing your own food, get out of the city.
He's got a lot to gain. I have to disagree with you. He's got a lot to gain. Check this out. Now
If it's
listen.
all going to
Well,
shit, Woodman, then why?
well,
Then you're right. If it's all going to the very end, then what? It's like it's just a reprieve now, right?
well, check us out. Check us out. We got Venezuela now starting to come aboard, right?
That's right.
We've had
Yes, that's
France,
right.
we, we've had France been doing that. Now look here. Um, uh, Check this out. President Trump has a lot to gain by this. I'll tell you why. First of all, he's going to end up for real showing the black hats that they just can't walk all over everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's gonna be kind of it's gonna be kind of like like huh, pardon my French, huh, fuck you. You know what I mean? That's you know what I mean? Like the big guy comes in, the big bully of the block, and then all of a sudden you have David and Goliath. You know what I mean? Who's
Oh,
this
I agree.
David guy? Sport guy. You
So
know what I mean?
if he puts his trade sanctions and embargo on Venezuela, does Venezuela still have a central bank? Are they tied into the International Monetary Fund and a central bank?
I don't have any information about that. All I know
I don't
is
know. I think. Go ahead.
they were just talking about um, uh, getting rid of their president and that type of government because
Fluid Pour Art by Greg. Thank you, brother.
all right. Anyway, I
have him on again soon. Are you available right now? Fluid Pour Art by Greg. I'll have you on right now. He was on
Woodman. To answer that for you, the Constitution grants a central bank autonomy to outline the implementation and policies of 2016. It was changed a little bit. They even though they deem it unconstitutional, is still in effect. So Venezuela does have a central banking system tied into the Federal Reserve here in America. That's tied into all the other international banking cartels. So it's going to be interesting. I would agree with you that stopping the oil, because a lot of people don't know Venezuela has a lot of oil, and that oil could also be another. And so I agree with you. Yeah, Venezuela is a very strategic, because who is sending warships and fighter planes? That's Russia has a very, very interest in Venezuela. So that's a huge one. You're right, Woodman.
Well, the oil they're talking about, it's very critical, even though you don't think so. Think about that. I don't know. You guys are more high tech than I am. You know exactly where I'm going with this, don't you, Ben?
Well, oil controls the world, and fiat money controls oil. There you go.
Well, what I'm saying is they have something to stabilize themselves with. They don't have to worry about. They got oil. Their government can change. Their government can change. They have money. They have power. They have oil, so they can kick them out and actually have their own government they want. They have something to land on.
Do you think maybe you're saying that they have a good resource to export? Because if we're based on gold, if we become based on gold in the United States, that means oil doesn't mean shit, pretty much. Then who cares about oil? Because our it's not the petrodollar. But you're right. If Venezuela has a resource that they can export and help their own economy, like we tried in other countries that kind of say, hey, you have your own resource, that be grain, oil, whatever minerals, and you would basically be able to start exporting and thus making profits off of tariffs. Because again, every country wants to model themselves after America. I mean, let's just be honest here. So I agree for sure.
Exactly. What I was getting at was Venezuelan people don't have to rely on the corrupt government. They do have, this natural energy. They really do.
All right, Greg, I sent you the code.
Oh, they don't have to depend on, their government taking care of them. They have a natural resource. Kick that crooked government out. They got enough stuff going on. You know what I mean? Restructure.
Oh, I agree.
It's just
reorganize, slim down, trim off the fat. That's what's happening. See, we've all known the plan. It's all been right in front of us, but who's ever going to do it? Who is in the position to do it? And with this day and age, you have to be the president with the military's backing and some kind of plan. That was the only way to do this.
So Ben, when are you going to make the announcement?
Of what?
A candidate for president.
Not for me, man. I'm still raising kids. I'm still trying to be a true American, having kids and raising them the right way. That's what I'm doing. Once I'm done with that, then I'll change the world. I'm changing these boys' world first. That's how it's done when you're my age.
I hear you.
All right, we'll see.
I'll see the black box.
Yep, we'll see if
poor art by Greg's coming in, brother.
We'll let him. I know he's been emailing here and there, so we'll go with the flow of that. But anyway, we keep on going here. What else? So, how about this?
I didn't do it.
White House petition to remove Nancy Pelosi from the office approaches 100,000 signatures.
It could go in at 100,000 signatures, people.
Well, that's the old thing. They said once anything gets 100, it's supposed to gain, get a response back. Yes.
Yeah, they can put it on there.
So the We the People petition system was created in the early days of Barack Obama's presidency, and nominally the executive branch is supposed to provide an official response for every petition that gathers more than 100,000 signatures. So it was something that Obama actually created. But,
Have you noticed? Have you noticed? She has a lot of. Have you noticed? Pelosi always have a lot of females around her. There's like one or two males and like a mirage of females.
Oh yeah.
Like they're trying to I don't know if they're trying to make a point or not. I don't know. Women, in my opinion, women are more than welcome to do any kind of a job.
What's up, Greg?
What's up, brother?
Well, just got done doing bad shit,
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with everything y'all are saying, man. And I just got off the phone, off texting with a friend of mine that is so blind and so lost and just sleeping.
Trying to wake him up a little bit.
I can't. He's too dumb.
Yeah. Sometimes you just can't, man.
I went to high school with him, but I can't seem to wake him up. He keeps getting force-fed that crap from CNN and all these other stupid places that he watches and listens to, but he won't listen to any reason. I told him, I said, I know crap that happened. I know crap that went on. I served two different branches.
Man.
Listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about that. I had a friend, too. It's like a guy that I grew up with from 5th grade all the way through high school. And it's funny how politics never came up, and we had a lot in common, did a lot of the same sports, stayed the night at each other's houses, and had a lot of, game time and playing video games, a lot of good interest. But then all of a sudden I go off to the service, come back. Yes, I am an infidel. And how much we clash on politics now. And he thinks he's got it figured out on his end of the spectrum. But, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I don't know how to talk to these guys. I try really, really hard not to lose my cool because you just want to slap them sometimes.
Yes.
Man,
so wait,
up, dude.
You're, if I'm correct, you're upstate New York, kind of, right?
Yeah, I'm out in the country.
Okay, well that's why I'm upstate.
That's why I'm in my bathroom right now inside my trailer. I can't get a good signal in this tin box unless I'm, standing near the spot.
What do you think about all the stuff that got passed through then?
Oh, as far as which?
I don't know. How about the illegal college or the college for legal immigrants?
Immigrants.
Was that what it was?
I disagree with that, man. We're not. If they are illegal, there's no freaking way. No way, dude.
So how do you get
I mean,
the?
you got you know Rick DeSantis,
Yes.
Florida. He just signed executive order tonight on repealing or removing Common Core from their curriculum.
System? Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
that's
good.
win one.
Now this is a state level executive order for the state constitution.
Is
Or...
over.
Wow.
Dumbing down is over.
Yes. Yes.
Now, did Mike ask? Now, is this at a state level? They're going to be abolishing that particular curriculum.
So Florida's constitution, state constitution, their guy Rick DeSantis put an executive order to, hey, start. There you go.
Which is good. Common Core is Luciferian agenda.
Well, then the other one for New York was the abortion at the.
Oh God, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. My wife and I said if anything ever happened to her, she was raped, and we would keep the baby because God can make something beautiful out of anything evil.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is.
Amen, brother.
I wouldn't kill that child. He didn't ask for that. He's a product of something, but that doesn't make it his fault or hers. You know?
Yep.
It's unreal. And in the preamble of the Constitution, does it not say that we are to provide these securities and these liberties for our posterity? That means
and how do you,
killing
yes.
them, you are taking their right to be away. That is against the Constitution, period.
I agree.
And anybody that had an abortion for any reason, you know, it scares me, even the people that would kill a baby because there was something wrong with it. Down syndrome? No. I keep it. I couldn't do it.
I agree, brother.
Here as well,
that's
brother.
a real sore subject, me and my wife, man, with a lot of our friends.
And that touches a lot of people. I mean, I think every one of us here, we all know somebody personally that has been affected by any of these tragedies to where a child was a byproduct of. And this isn't just an isolated incident. And I would agree with you. I mean, this is a terrible thing happening. But I also think it's, you know, if we start educating individuals, obviously you can't stop all crime. We're not saying that everything's going to 100% stop and everything's going to be utopia, peachy king, and there's never going to be any type of evil temptation. Obviously not. Nope. But if you become more aware and people are more leaning towards the truth, you're not going to get as many of these unique cases that call for the hard decision to be made, incest, rape, and this kind of stuff. But even then, at least personally, and I would agree with you, Greg, that on a personal level, once God gave humans the ability to create life, right? Like it's just amazing. Why would you kill that? And to me, it's just a Moloch, Baal worship. That's all it really is.
Too many people,
sacrificing.
Too many people in this nation don't have children, can't have them, want them. There you go. That's
Amen.
It. Don't.
I agree.
The only reason I can see an abortion being justified at all is if it comes between the mother and the child, and I sometimes even there I've got to bite my tongue because
like a health concern to have the baby, maybe it's going to cause
the mom could die due to pregnancy issues,
something.
Yeah. I feel
check us out, guys. I really truly think and I have to do this really strongly. Once that sperm goes into the egg, listen now, as soon as that makes
diagrams?
A life, as soon as that makes a life, that's when God gave it a soul.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. Because that's when that's honestly, guys, that's when God gave him. That's when God gave him life.
I agree. That's 100%. Yes,
you're right.
Yeah,
conception.
you're right.
don't care 2 weeks, 4 months, 9 months. Look, that first initial entrance, when that little guy gets in there, and if God wants them to be having a life, bang, it'll happen.
There you go.
Well, it's
That's all
interesting
I
that you
got.
talk about that. God says when a man and a woman lay together, thus his life is created. So you figure, not exactly, but you figure even in God's term, when a man and woman come together as one flesh, there you go. So I don't think any of us are trying to minimalize when life starts. There is a huge debate of all of that. We all know that. We agree with you, Woodman. The second yeah, exactly. So it's still like with us here at the Patriot Hour. We're with you, Greg, 100%, man.
Yes,
Our
brother.
jaws dropped. We're amazed that we still live. This is the days of Noah, brother. The days of Noah.
Yeah. The Nephilim are.
I still can't believe they've done
Yes.
that. I still
I'm
can't believe it.
Dude. I can take the political side of this and line it up with the faith-based side, and I know the truth. For people that don't that don't know the truth, they've got to research it, man. And there's more books in that Bible than what we are seeing.
That's right.
That are canonized. I mean.
Yep.
So
amen to that.
You got to read it all. Enoch is a good place to start.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you know it.
That's right. Give you give Greg a final. Go ahead, take a minute here. Shout out to anyone you want to shout out to. The people that that you're joining with a lot in the chats as well. I don't know if you got anything you want to say. Go ahead, brother.
Just shout out to all y'all, man. Get your yellow vests ready.
Yes.
Everybody. I got 2 right here waiting. One for me and one for my wife. I got to buy 3 more. One for each of the kids.
Now, where are you able to grab them at? Just for everyone to know, something
Home
simple
Depot.
as Walmart, Home Depot. Okay.
Home Depot, Walmart. Yep, we got them ready. We're gonna keep them ready. And love you guys, man. You do a great job. And I wish I could be part of this, but I don't have a home studio or nothing.
Hey, we like to have you beam in whenever possible. Anything else you've been getting into? Anything point of interest that you think anyone should know about? I mean, I know you're probably doing all kinds of research. Anything interesting?
Mike, I sent you a bunch of emails today. Those videos, that one that you guys showed tonight, by the way, I don't know if I sent that to you, but I watched that the other day. I was like, whoa, this is unreal.
Baffled. Yeah.
The truth. I mean, it's all tying together. It makes sense why they don't want the borders closed. It makes sense. They're making money. They use the military to freaking move their drugs. I mean, come on.
It's almost like
CIA, man. That's what we had.
It's almost like all the mob movies, right, that we've ever seen. It's almost like if they were to make one about this, it would have to be such on a high level. It's like the illusion of them shutting down their own arenas to get things in is just almost thoughtless to them. So it's like it's not going to happen. Doesn't it make sense? Me and Ben have discussed that time and time again.
That is immoral. A wall's not immoral.
Yes.
Protecting our people, our citizens, our children, our women, and our rights is not immoral.
Amen, brother.
And I will lay down my life for that, for any one of you freaking punks.
We got your back, brother, 100%, man. Here's another passionate veteran, man.
Yeah, I wish I would have never left Texas.
All right, brother.
Love you guys. I'm gonna get off of here.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you again soon. I'm going to look at all your emails for sure tonight, brother. All right.
All right, dude.
All right, brother. Peace.
Keep care of them chickens.
All right, man. We love having him on. What a great Patriot Hour, Patriot, veteran, brother, father, or husband. I mean, great guy.
You're talking, we got our team and a lot of these guys. This is unique insight from somebody who's living there in upstate New York. He's
new system.
Under that system, yeah. Now,
interesting for Florida, by the way. We haven't hit on Common Core. Even though that you got kids, I got kids, Ben. That's definitely affected us. I mean, what do you think on that one?
My thoughts that Common Core is straight Luciferianism, satanic evilness, because if you look at who created Common Core and who publishes it, it's pure garbage. Pure garbage. It's all theoretical, not based on facts. It's all leftist. They teach more about evolution, bisexuality, homosexuality. They teach you false history. They don't teach you anything about how World War I started, World War II started. They know nothing about nothing. I constantly
stripped out a lot of history, a lot of good.
Reteach my children. The Common Core tells you things that are not provable and hearsay. I mean, one of these days I may go on my other channel and literally just spend a couple of hours or a bunch of episodes just reading the lies, and right then and there refute their lies in the textbook, because it's so easy to refute.
That'd keep you busy over there. You'd never be back on the Patriot Hour.
Dude. I know, right? So
where's Ben been? Well, he's over there disputing the lies that they've distorted. Oh my gosh, that's 24/7 channel, isn't it? No, that would be a hell of a good one to tackle.
All of our wars and conflicts have been, honestly, no kidding, on false everything.
Amen. Amen,
brother.
You know, because certain families own the fuel, and certain families make the ammunition. Certain families have this right, and certain families have that right. Well, the more they want money, they'll just go ahead and fabricate some kind of a story, and all of a sudden now we're at war. That's true. And Mike made a DVD about that a couple years ago that was hit it right on the head, and there were certain ones of them, you know, I mean, it came right out. Evidence. I mean, and Mike had it down on that DVD. I still have one, and I still show people that. It's my introduction to letting them know that their government is not what they think it is. You know, I mean, you have to understand a lot of these people, you know, have so much faith in their government they don't want to believe it is corrupt. I mean, they look at it as maybe there's a few of them corrupt. They don't really understand the severity of it. I mean, they really don't, and they don't want to at first. So it takes quite a while to get through. You know, it'd be like saying, Mike, you should never wear an orange shirt again. You know what I mean? Like, it makes you look
cognitive
ugly.
dissonance.
You know what I mean?
What Ben, I think is what you're trying to talk about, cognitive dissonance, and how to break that from people. Like when they first hear something they don't want to hear to be the truth, they kind of push it off and be like, "Oh."
It strikes them hard. It hurts them. Sometimes it shatters people's foundation. You know, their belief system almost. You know, it's tough.
A lot of people, at least 33% of people couldn't even fathom that.
Well, what was the number, Ben? That 6%? I don't know if it was Q or something that said like 6 or 7% of the population totally too brainwashed at this point, too calcified. The fake news narrative has already set their world. It's already people will grasp to that.
They year to year. I know in 2016 they took some polls and they pulled that number of about 4% of our United States population are so much ignorant. And now when I say ignorant, that's not a bad term like you personally. That just means lack of knowledge. Like our IQ score, our national IQ average has gone down by 6 points. That's huge, people. So what they're saying is that there is a small percentage of our population that, like you said, Mike, it's about anywhere from 3 to 4%. Like I said, you know, fact check me, please. Let me know later on what exact numbers are, that are so wrapped up in cognitive dissonance, i.e., social media. They don't have any real friends, but they have 1 million likes and 1 million friends online. Their world, they've been literally brainwashed to believe that the reality online is the reality in front of them, flesh and blood. They don't understand that a corporation is just like a person on paper, but in reality, it's not.
These are the same people that wouldn't even believe if, like, George Bush came on, took responsibility for 9/11, or Hillary came on and admitted to some crime. they'd be sitting there like, I think this. They'd go off with some fairy tale that they think they know and repeat it. And it's like, no, she just admitted it. She put her hands on it. She got handcuffed and she went to jail. No, see what she meant to say was, and you're just like, oh my gosh, all right. So that's just how it goes sometimes. So a population, a percentage has been too damaged. All right. So this propaganda, everything that gets repeated, it does physically hurt people because it can keep them so.
Yes, I agree.
So cognitive dissonance. I mean, once you hear something that goes against everything you believe, some people turn it off.
I guess what I'm saying is like people in my era or people older than myself. I'm not kidding you. You can really tell the difference between our people. I'm not trying to say we're anything different. We hold our American pride a little bit different than everybody else does. We don't want to believe that our government could end up being that corrupt.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's people that do not.
A lot of people my age, come on, dude, we've fought for our right to be here. I mean,
well, also, what man? Think about this.
You guys didn't, but back then, that's pretty much we weren't commercialized. I'll put it that way. How's that? Is that better?
Well, that's a good point. No, that's a great point because I can also say this is, in your generation there was no internet, and it took what you knew up here to make you a great man. Nowadays, in the 21st century, it's not what you know up here, it's how much information you can get that the people are asking for. So I would agree with you on that point.
Yeah.
But now, Woodman, you're talking to two individuals who were born before the internet came out and who actually were around before the internet came out. So our generation is a generation that I like to call the liaison generation, because what we're doing is we're taking your generation who were understanding of, if you want to get information, you go to the library.
Thanks, Thomas
Our generation,
Bryan.
Yeah, there you go, Thomas Bryan. And so, like my kids know nothing about a life.
What day is it? Hey, what day is it? You're the hump.
What's that?
That's what you're saying. You're the hump. I was making a joke about it, and he was making a great point, but I was trying to make a joke.
Let me make
my
point then, Woodman. Calm down. Let me make my point then. So if you have people like ourselves, right, who are the hump or whatever you want to call us, in between baby boomer generation who was focused on libraries and our children, your grandchildren ages who only have the internet, how are they going to believe what really happened back then if they don't have something that would basically bring these two generations together? And so when you have people who like yourself, who know about laws and who understand their constitutional freedoms, because not only did you fight for it, but you also knew it because you had to learn it, and not just what somebody told you. So you don't repeat what you heard, you say what you know. Yeah. Versus the people nowadays, they parrot what they think they want to hear. And when they come across somebody who, one, knows the law or knows the Constitution and is not afraid to say, hey, this is how it really is. So I think we need individuals from the baby boomer generation, from the X generation, from the millennial generation, because let's just be frank here. It doesn't matter what generation you come from. If our government's controlling all of us, then it doesn't matter when you were born, how old or how young you are, you're just as a slave as the next person. So that's what we're trying to do, is get all this truth out and not say, well, you don't understand because you weren't them back. So we want our people to understand everything. And so I think that our generation and my children's generation, and hopefully they'll be around for my grandchildren.
Brown Eyes Rule. Thank you so much. Brown Eyes Rule.
Ben, I really, truly think you took it off on the wrong angle. Well, because my point was trying to be that your generation is the one that's going to be the mediator. That's what I meant by what day is it? Hump Day. That's because you guys got the fucking.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
You have the hard task of joining the old with the new and making sense of it. That's what I meant. Hump day. It's in the middle. It's in the middle. You guys are in the middle. You guys are the ones that have to make it work. I didn't mean for you to take it the wrong way, Ben. That's why I
Oh,
was
hey,
really going
brother,
like.
I'm
That's
following
why I
along.
you
was like,
can't offend me. This is the
hey,
beauty
it's
of the
hump
show.
day. You know,
This is the
you
beauty
guys.
of it, guys.
Woodman.
This is live and
Yeah,
real.
I don't. Yeah, I
So I
don't.
take it
Listen,
this way
my
that
feelings are
that
hurt. Yeah,
like
this is
Woodman
awesome.
puts, when he went to school, he didn't have any computer training from elementary till he graduated. People like us, I didn't have computers for elementary. Maybe in sixth grade, if I can remember back, that we started sitting down at computers, and then seventh and eighth, the middle school and high school I did. So it was half a school without. Now, I know kindergartners get on computers, and so they get it all the way through. So I'm not that. We're not that, Ben. I know we came in probably halfway through our systems to have even look at computers and
Hell, I went to
typewriters.
wood shop. I went to surfing class.
Yeah, we still had
I
wood
mean,
shop.
yeah. I
But
honestly,
computers have been
I'm that old
implemented.
too.
So technology
No,
is,
what I was saying is your generation is going to be the hardest one because you have to communicate with the old people like us, and then
you got
with
the
the
new
newer
ones.
generation too. And but here's
Oh,
the
you
neat
guys,
thing:
thank you. Sherry
you have to make
Reynolds.
sense. You have to make sense of it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's your generation that's. Um, I can't say it's going to be the hardest one that I've ever seen, but with technology being the way
Celeste
it
J.
is, you guys are the ones that you have to be the catalyst for the bridge. I'll put it that
I
way.
agree. But I also would put this as a caveat to everybody listening, to you, Woodman, and to you, Mike. This journey we've all taken is individual accountability. So once you know something, we all can move on, and you can't unknow that. So I love the fact that not only the information you bring, Woodman, which is highly valuable, once I learn that, I can't unlearn that. But I also think that this Patriot Hour, what Mike has created, has allowed an open forum to where we don't have to use our gender, our age. This we can all come together and say, and we can all debate on truth. That's why I don't get offended. Mike and I, we disagree on some things, even still to this day. And are the topics we're going to bring up? Maybe we will go over every once in a great while in Garage Talk, but we don't agree 100%. And like with you and I, Woodman, we don't agree either. But that's what constitutes great conversation. If we all had the same damn view on things, it would be kind of a boring show, And so,
What would
with
you
that,
talk
I
about?
always love the fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is there to?
What would you
What
talk
would
Oh,
about?
yeah.
what would be the? Yeah, here's one 2 hours ago. Hold on here, guys. Let's look at this.
Oh,
Elizabeth Warren apologizes to the Cherokee Nation for her DNA
That is
test
one
2 hours
white
ago.
woman.
Senator Elizabeth Warren has tried to put a nagging controversy behind her because she's running for presidency, right? By apologizing privately to the leader of the Cherokee Nation for her decision to take a DNA test to prove her Native American ancestry. So anyway, we know the results. It came back, whatever, 1 in 1,024th or something. She's like less, Indian than the whitest white person from.
1% in 2024.
I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know she was doing that avenue yet.
Oh, she was calling herself that for about 15 years, and that's what my papa told me. Would rely to stories that were told to her growing up from her grandparents. But anyway, she took this test, came out like, I am, but the results were minuscule. Like, I don't know.
Well, you guys have to admit, I haven't. Okay, look, I haven't been in this investigative attitude for probably 40 some years. I didn't know I was ever going to do it again. Boom, I beat you guys, and guess what? I'm back in the action again. So,
Oh, hell yeah.
well, I don't know all the ins and outs yet. I'm still the newbie on the road here, I'm learning, guys. I'm learning.
Brother, we're with you. That's why you're
Oh, I mean, I've been doing this for years, and every day I learn something new. And who I talk to, I can't discredit information just because of where it comes. I have to take that information and see, one, is it truthful, where it leads, and then go from there for sure.
Well, just I'm really honored to be on a program that has not necessarily just veterans, but civilians that want to hear and speak the truth. Once a word comes out of a person's mouth, you cannot bring it back. So whatever we try to say, we try to make it the truth. That's how we are. Correct?
I agree.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, Mike and I have talked about this many times in Garage Talk that starting this show, Mike really, starting the channel, hitting it up well, and being able to talk, and even right now, we don't talk normally like this. We do when we're around a couple beers and tables, but when I'm talking, I'm a little bit more careful, like you said, about what I say. I'm going to make sure that if I'm going to quote something like, well, in the Organic Act of 1871, and if you don't know what that is, I better be damn sure that I know that what I'm talking about. So this show has not only on a personal level helped me to prove first resources, second resources, tertiary resources, all these different researches, because, I value research. And I also value, and I understand, which a lot of people don't, but you guys do here, I understand sources and vetting a source. And so when we talk about stories here, or we give our ideas, I think we're pretty clear about giving, look, this is my opinion versus this is fact. What do you think about this fact? And I think this is, it bypasses age. It bypasses where you come from, the color of your skin, the persuasion of any of that kind of stuff. Because if you base your investigation off of where does the facts lead to me, then you're going to come to the truth eventually at some point in time when your investigation ends out. So that's why I love this channel for it. I mean, you guys we have different ideas and we come out with each other for very, very different perspectives on it, and that only enriches the overall truth that we all come up with.
Brown eyes rule. A hearse was seen leaving Ruth Ginsburg home. Funeral on the 5th. Whoa.
What? On the 5th? Hold on. We gotta pull this up. What is this? I'm gonna pull this up real quick. See if I can't find this.
That's 10 days before the deadline.
Well, the State of the Union's on the 5th, right?
Oh, man.
Images from RGB Hearst leaving home. I'm seeing images here.
Wow.
I got this right here. Trump allies think Ruth Bader Ginsburg is hiding or dead. It started on QAnon. This is from... Top figures in the pro-Trump media are claiming, so even though we started it here, then Fox News, because we talked about that. I know here I wouldn't accidentally have, something come up that I had to create, by the way, because on Fox News, they're going to create the backdrop. They're going to create the text that goes in. Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies. And then you have to have it setting in here. Like me, I have to have it setting so it doesn't accidentally, hold on, guys, let me do this. I mean, I've accidentally hit my title, I just did it in the last show. Hold on, let me, I could do that. Yeah. But that's not accidental. Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. The dates that she died. Where did that come from? Who created that?
Well, yeah.
So, interesting.
That wasn't a blip. Saw that. It's just interesting. No, the fact.
6 days left until she has to make her official appearance. So 6 days she has to show up, and they're going to bring it out that she died that day. If we don't hear from her from the time that the Fox News accidentally showed it and then on that date we don't end up having something, if we don't have the next thing we're supposed to have because of her death, what are we led to believe? I mean, what are you led to believe?
Yeah.
Hard to say, man. Hard to say. Grab the dice and roll it. You know, the bad thing is none of us know anything until it's after the fact. That's the really, really, really bad thing about it. Doggone it. I wish we had a crystal ball. We'd really know what was going on for real and not have to do all this digging and whatever, and decipher between lies and truth and all that crap, from wherever we get it from.
Transparency.
You guys are the ones that are super high tech. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think it wouldn't matter what age or what technical skill level. I think we all can agree that transparency is the best thing for any of us to start moving forward. If we don't know what's going on and they're only telling us lies, I mean, we understand that there's some national security information. We don't want to know where troop movements and some future places where the president's going to be because of security. I mean, we understand that kind of stuff, but we want real transparency.
No, I agree. All right, let's go ahead and shut this down. We're getting it's pretty late. It's 11. I'll give you guys last words here.
So excited.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead, Ben. You got any closing thoughts for the we appreciate everybody, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, obviously, all you guys are awesome. Lots of love. I would always say this. Base your decisions off the most truth you can possibly gather on that particular decision. That's called critical thinking. That's a few notches above common sense. And try not to base, like I said, your ideas off of other people's facts that they've come to their conclusions. Here at the Patriot Hour, we always say, don't take what we say as gospel truth. Research everything we say and connect the dots and find the truth for yourself. And if there's something that we say here that's not factually true, let us know. Correct some statistics or some years we've called out or some things we've done. Let us know, because we like to know when we're wrong, because we like to learn the truth ourselves. And again, huge shout out to all you Patriots working hard and to keep the truth alive. And I know you feel like we do, man. God bless you all.
Oh, yes. All right, that was Ben. We'll go to Woodman here. Woodman, any good words for the people? Words of encouragement?
Yes, I do. Ben said most of them. Honestly, folks, we're about to venture into a new era, something that a lot of people wouldn't even fathom before. All I got to say is take care of each other, lean on each other, because between each other, we're going to pull ourselves out of this with no scathes, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be, once it begins, it's going to be a cakewalk. Love and know your neighbor. Talk amongst each other on a positive note. Don't automatically think something negative about a certain person, no matter what they look like. They could be green with purple polka dots. Who cares? Who cares? It's, get to know each other, because we're going to be elbow to elbow fighting this thing, if you think about it. So God bless everybody. God bless Mike and Ben. Mike a little more than Ben. Sorry, Ben. Well,
I'm a blessed man, brother. I'm a blessed man.
I got plenty of blessings.
Well, Mike started this thing, and we've just came on board. God bless him for actually making the initial effort to even do this. And Ben, that's where you come in slightly behind that, because you guys are both techno nuts. So anyway, I'm really glad to know both of you, and I hope people can be very open-minded, because there's a lot of changes going to come on, and please always think about the positive thing, and strive for the truth. And when you find the truth, please do me a favor and do all this favor and share it, because we all need to know that. God bless you all. God, really, God bless you all, man. And thank you for your time.
Brothers, I appreciate it. Till the next time, that was the fellas. We really appreciate them coming on. What a great time when they have the time. Again, Scott, Ben, Woodman, Nate, even Tony came on early, and everyone else who's helped. They've done a great job. It was a big thing getting all this set up. It took months and lots of testing, and it was great. I appreciate everybody from day one up till now, newbies, people that have been here. All of you are Patriots. I love all of you. All the super chats, how awesome. You guys did some great super chats tonight. Brown Eye Rules, Sherry Reynolds, Celestia, Thomas Bryan, CJ, Thomas Bryan, Anti-Popular Girl, Siggy Smears, Lynn Whitney, and Siggy Smears again. So awesome. You guys are awesome, and we'll see you back here. It's early in the weekend. It's late tonight, but tomorrow expect a few videos at some point from the Patriot Hour. So if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like on your way out, and there is a poll, folks, in the video. If you look up in the right-hand corner, there's a little circle, white circle dot with an I, information, I in the middle. Hit that, and it's going to come up with a quick poll. You just hit yes and yes, or no and no, whatever you want to vote. You got to read the question and then answer yes or no to it. All right, we're just taking some little polls on these live videos to get some feedback, and it really helps us and maybe the next video to talk about. All right, again, I'm Mike. This is Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you, and we'll see you back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour update video. God bless and good night. Have a safe one.